I'm going to change up the order of my questions for WGN political analyst Paul
boy.
Lisnek, since Jenna ended on 2024.
Yeah.
What does the Republican performance last night, and specifically the performance of a lot of Trump-backed candidates, what does that do to the relationship between Trump and the rest of the Republican Party?
That is the $64,000 question, right? First of all, there were Trump-backed candidates who won last night. I know there's been a lot of discussion in the media about how they lost, but there were several that won, including a few in the Secretary of State positions, which can often be critical in certifying races. But what this does going forward, and I guess we're going to find out when and if the president makes the announcement we think he's going to make next week, which is that he's going to run for office again, run for president, he's going to have to do a little spinning, because you can't stand there and say, look at the results that we have produced for America, because he didn't. So he's going to have to find a way to turn that around, spin it around, and make it more positive. I think it's difficult. And I think right now his main concern is more somebody like Ron DeSantis, who really came out a king last night for the way he looked. And I think, who knows, maybe Trump will take a little bit more time to pave the way.
So in the meantime, not the red wave that Republicans had initially expected. So you got to ask, what happens now with Kevin McCarthy? What does the future look like for him?
Yeah, and let me say this, and I think this is a fair statement. I think what happened last night in terms of the results being decent for Democrats, I don't know that Joe Biden gets credit for that. I think it almost happened in spite of Joe Biden, because he's not a popular president, although historically now he goes down in history, the first president in, 50 or more years who didn't suffer tremendous losses in the House. So again, he'll get the credit for that, but I think, given the tone of the country, I think this is about something else. And so Kevin McCarthy, if he becomes Speaker, has some decisions to make. He's already laid out an agenda. There's going to be all sorts of investigations on, there could be Hunter Biden stuff coming up, there could be COVID stuff coming up, there's a whole list of things. But, if you're Kevin McCarthy, and you've got to look ahead to what the presidential looks like in 2024, then you better think twice and think about where you can work with the White House. The other thing is, he's not such a, that's why I said if he becomes Speaker, because there's already been some buzz out of the Congress that he's already had several members of the Freedom Caucus say they're not in his corner. So he's got lots of deals to cut, lots of deals to make with people. We'll see if he can do it.
All right, what's the lesson for Republicans here in Illinois after last night's results?
Well, Jim Durkin's lesson is, I think I'm going to step down and let somebody else step into leadership. What kind of, there's always this call generally in the country for this sort of more moderate Republican, since the Trump faction didn't seem to do very well last night in the numbers. But, in Illinois, there are a lot of moderate Republicans. So what is it that's necessary? And I think the bottom line is that the Democratic Party in this state is just so powerful. By the way, it's worth noting, this was the first general election that we had post Mike Madigan. So for all the credit Mike Madigan got in picking the winners and having things happen, Chris Welch is the Speaker now, and they still hold on, it appears, to the supermajorities. So Republicans have to find a way to do a bit of a modification, I suppose, to their platform, but they have no choice but to try and work with Democrats. Otherwise, they face another couple of years of no accomplishment. For Kevin, it's just had enough, and I'm sorry, for Jim Durkin, I should say, he just had enough, and decided it's time for somebody else to step in. We'll see what happens on the Senate side of the Republicans.
Okay. All right. Paul Lisnek, thank you so much for your insight. Busy night for you last night.
It was fun working with you last night.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for buying the pizza.
Yeah, you
was that on my
we didn't tell you that yet.
Thank you,
All
Paul.
right,
and you
thank you,
can
Paul.
catch Paul every Sunday morning here on WGN with the Political Report.
Along with Maddie.